This is Monsoon, the boss of Chapter 3 in Metal Gear Rising. He's a very fast boss, and he has quite a few nasty little tricks up his sleeve. This move that he's doing right now, you'll probably get hit with it a few times during the fight. He causes a giant cloud of fog to pop up on the battlefield, and he'll repeatedly attack you, and you have to parry every one of his strikes. Once you get the timing down, it's not all that bad. It's kind of got a steady rhythm to it. This is one of his other really mean attacks, where he jumps up into the air and then slams down onto him. It's sometimes hard to see this attack coming because he jumps up in the air, and if you're locked onto him, then the camera can kind of wig out a little bit. However, thankfully, Monsoon cannot take very much damage before he goes to the different phases of his fight. And after you've knocked about 25-30% off of him, which is easy to do, you just kind of wait until he opens himself up after his moves, he'll turn purple and jump up on a pillar and do this. He'll throw a bunch of objects at you, and you have to cut them in half with blade mode. Each one of these objects that you destroy will give you either EMP grenades, which are really important for fighting him, or nanopaste. Now see, when he's purple like this, he's actually invincible to normal attacks. So what you have to do is equip an EMP grenade and toss him at him. That will stun him. Then run up to him and enter blade mode and slash his head only. And this will knock him out of that state and allow you to get a few hits in. And now he'll go back to his standard attacks, where he'll either do his grab, he'll do a few really quick strikes, or he'll do the fog attack. Then after you get him down to about 50% of his health, he'll do this move again. And each time he goes to do this move, it'll be more intense. He'll throw more objects, and they'll be faster. And you have to cut all of them down, even if it doesn't look like they're necessarily going to hit you. However, if you're having a problem with this attack hitting you, you can just run directly underneath him, and it will miss you entirely. But it's a pretty easy attack to avoid using blade mode like that, and there's a boss later on in the game that does an attack like that, only a lot worse, so it's good to get used to it. Yeah, while he's purple, if you go up and try to slash him, his body will split apart, and you won't be able to hit him with normal attacks. So that's why you have to use the EMP grenade. When you get him even lower, he'll add this attack to his repertoire. This attack is, despite me getting hit by it there, it's pretty easy to dodge. It's just a giant rolling ball of junk. And he'll roll it towards you after a few seconds. What makes it hard is that the timing is random. You never really know when it's going to come out. And he'll roll it towards you, and then roll it back to its starting position. And he does this maybe 5-6 times, and then he jumps back down and starts fighting you again. And this deck, it does quite a bit of damage, but as I said, it's pretty easy to avoid most of the time. Now, when you have him down to 40%, he'll start doing this attack, where he actually splits his body up, and he'll attack you from long range. This attack can be tricky to avoid, but again, since he's purple, you can just toss out an EMP grenade, and you can disable this. Then you go back to the standard practice of hitting his body while he's vulnerable. Then get him down even further, and he'll pull out this attack again. And there is a way to fight him without using EMP grenades, but this is the spot in the game where EMP grenades are easily the most useful, and if you've been collecting items, then you probably have them, so there's really no reason not to use them here. If you don't have any of them at all, then if you just fight him normally and just dodge him and parry him while he's in that mode, he'll eventually get knocked out of it. After you get him down to 10%, he'll do this attack a second time. And it comes out a little more faster and is a little more aggressive this time. But it still has that same annoying timing property where you don't know when it's going to come out. And then finally, after he does that attack for the second time, it enters into the final phase of the fight, where he lifts up this obelisk and tries to throw it at you. And when he throws it, you get a pretty easy prompt here to jump up and run along it, slice through a car, kick him into the building, and then cut him up as much as you can. And this ends the fight with Monsoon. And now after this, he'll do a little speech, and then your mission's going to be over.